Before I saw The Batman, I texted one of my friends and said, I just hope this movie is better than The Dark Knight Rises. Thankfully, this movie is far superior to The Dark Knight Rises and Batman vs. Superman as well. It's not my favorite Batman movie, but it has a lot of really awesome moments, and I just loved the overall tone of the film. This is definitely the creepiest and most disturbing of the Batman films, and I just loved that creepy horror thriller, crime movie tone that they created. This is also the least family-friendly version of Batman that we have seen. This feels like it was a hard R-rated movie that got edited down to TV-14 for TNT. There were several scenes where you know that graphic violence is taking place, but the camera zooms out of focus so you can just see blurs and shadows of what is happening, and it can be quite disturbing to watch, actually. A lot of people are comparing this movie to David Fincher's movie Seven. I haven't seen Seven, so I can't really compare it. I mean, I know what it's about, and I know the "what's in the box" scene, so I don't know, if this movie rips off Seven, I wouldn't know it. Robert Pattinson as Batman, I admit, looks a little awkward at first, but after a while he really started to grow on me. I can't exactly put my finger on it, but there is just something a little off about Robert Pattinson in the Batsuit. Maybe he's too tall and lanky, I don't know, maybe his neck is too long, I don't know what it is, but he isn't my favorite version of Batman. But then again, I don't have too strong of an opinion on who plays Batman. I don't think Batman is a difficult role for an actor to play, so long as the actor has a strong physique and can keep a straight face, and, there you go, you have Batman. I love how they focused a lot on Batman being very smart and being a detective. We get a lot of shots of Batman's eyes shifting and picking up on small clues during conversations and not saying anything because he's working it all out in his head. It was really funny. I saw this movie in the theater and they show the scene where Batman is walking in slow motion and there's a big fireball behind him, and one of the girls in the front row just yelled, "He is so hot!" And everyone started laughing. It was pretty funny. I would say the two best qualities of the Batman are its musical score and its cinematography. The acting is good for what it is, but at the same time there isn't much opportunity for the main cast to show a lot of acting range. Everyone in this movie is very somber and depressed, and they all talk in that low Jack Bauer whisper "Ooh, haven't a clue. Let's play a game, me and you." I thought the Riddler kind of hammed it up a bit too much sometimes. Most of the time he's a pretty rad villain, but then there are times where it gets a little weird, and I even thought at one point, did he just do a Dwight Schrute impression? The Riddler is a good villain, but I think they lean too heavily on the serial killer aspect of the Riddler, and we're kind of light on the evil genius aspect of the Riddler. In other words, he's a serial killer who happens to be good with riddles instead of a riddle genius who happens to kill a few people. All I can say is I'm really glad that they never reveal him in the trailer because his on-screen reveal is pretty awesome. I can't really say too much on the musical score because I'm not a music major or anything, but the Batman theme is just awesome, and they're really good at creating that creepy tone I've been talking about. The Batman is beautiful to look at, and it has the most unique cinematography of all the Batman movies. You know when you're using a camera and you can switch to the micro focus mode and it hyper focuses on objects that are close to you and then everything else gets really blurry? That's what they do a lot in The Batman. There are lots of close-up shots of Batman's eyes or his face and a lot of unconventional shots of people and reflections or looking through binoculars. Overall, it's very unconventionally filmed for a superhero movie. I'm usually pretty critical of movies where the lighting is too dark, see my Dune and Eternals reviews, but it worked very well for this and it makes sense because most of Batman's activities take place at night. I actually also liked Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. I was pretty worried with how prominently she was featured in some of the later trailers, but her Selina Kyle is very likable. Also, the Batman has my new favorite version of the Batmobile, and when you see it revealed, you will know why. The Batman has a lot of problems which prevent it from being a great film. But the two major problems are the film's length and the finale. This movie has no reason being 3 hours long. They spend way too much time soaking in scenes of characters, staring at clues, or observing the environment, and there were certain subplots that were just unnecessary. If they had simply cut out a half hour of this movie, it would have been right up there with The Dark Knight and Batman Returns. It was frustrating because there were a lot of scenes where I was just like, oh, that's so cool. and I just had the dumbest smile on my face. And then other times it just started to drag, and I'm thinking, okay, guys, can we just move on? As far as the finale goes, I was very disappointed where all the build-up leads to. The payoff for all of the clues should have been a lot more shocking than it actually was. So I don't want to say too much more about the movie for those who haven't seen it. Would I recommend it? I want to see this movie again in theaters, and that is as ringing an endorsement as I can give it. I really like this type of Batman film, and I hope the studio greenlights a sequel ASAP. I mean, obviously take the time to make it good, but I hope they don't wait, like 5 or 6 years for the sequel to come out. It's flawed, but it is worth the price of admission to see those crowd-pleasing moments. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Batman. If you think I'm wrong, let me know why in the comments, and I will see you next time.